In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and over. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram.
Caca.
Oh, that was a dud.
That was a dud?
I banked it off the...
Oh, don't drink it.
it's the last Crimson Mint.
Oh, okay, you gotta have it. The last? Is there more?
I see where I fully... Oh, my God. I fucked up so bad.
Threw it everywhere.
Okay, so the Crimson Mint came in tonight. I didn't think they were that cold, so I threw one in the freezer.
Oh.
And I was going to get it out earlier, and I kind of forgot. And so just now I'm like, oh, that Crimson Mint's in the freezer can be so crispy. It didn't pop, Like
Too crispy.
look,
Is it like frozen a little bit?
Yeah, it's frozen.
I think Jack's really disgusted with me right now, dude. He's like, "Are you kidding me?"
doesn't hurt my feelings.
No, I mean it's like, dong. Did you just hear it?
Yeah.
The
like,
water
why didn't it
content
even-
froze.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well,
Are
a
you
little more
drinking
watery than beer, I guess.
18% cider now.
It's popsicle. Cidersicle.
it's a slushy.
Oh, there you go.
It's not bad actually.
Well, welcome to another
Sorry,
Alaska
guys.
Wild Project podcast. We're going to continue our gear overview today. Today we're going to cover sleeping bags. But before we get into that, Jackie, how was the weekend?
Yeah, it was good. We it was the 75 to 80 degree weather. It was incredible. I think we all got a little tanned, a little burned,
more.
maybe lobster in some areas. Yeah, we went out to the Sound. It was bathtub water. It was I caught Nick Olzenak coming off the water. They've been out there for 6 days, and it was bathtub water every day for them. And so,
Does that mean flat?
yeah,
Okay.
like pin drop.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, when they say seas 2 feet, it's like no feet.
Okay.
yeah. It was nice. Like you could literally see a pin drop.
Yeah.
In the
Okay,
water.
gotcha.
Yeah. So it was gorgeous. We had some family from out of town up from the Midwest, and it was super great to show them Alaska. They had one of them had seen Alaska before, and the other one hadn't. And I think they're pretty odd, But I thought we were
Odd, like AWE?
oh,
Okay, not like weird.
Like no. Ooh, like AW, yeah, AW.
AW,
Yeah,
not the
the
OD.
odd one was me.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, showing them what's up out there, and Nick had to kind of tip me off on a new shrimp spot. So I always like to try new spots.
That's got to be daunting when you first, like, it's so vast. You're like, where
it's
do I
huge.
even put this down?
Yeah, and then I'm the king of losing pots. So it's
Oh
like,
man, brutal.
How many pots are down there? Thousands?
thousands.
I've seen a full set of 5 get broke off.
Oh, man.
That's
That's why it's risky. I saw
This is when it was legal for 5.
Emily.
For the record.
Okay. Emily put her bear skull down there, to clean it. I said, that's risky, man.
Yeah.
Lose that thing.
It's an awesome
so-
idea though.
Yeah. It works.
It works really good.
Yeah.
Actually, I've seen it.
I think I would just drop one pot if I did that
So they're
instead
all
of 2 or
attached.
3. Yeah, you just
One pot, one buoy, just let it be.
the second pot or third pot can kind of have more of a chance of wrapping up, and then I would just be. I'm already pretty cautious, but I'd be much more cautious about like what tide I send it in, how much current's at, what where the current's going, the current direction and speed, and then the same for picking it up. So making sure all the slack's out of it, making sure I'm picking it up at the right direction, and understanding like what could be happening with the currents and the tides. And I think you just learned that the hard way. You're like, oh yeah, I understand tides, and then you're like, there's some other factors here too.
Yeah.
So I've lost a shit ton. I won't throw 3 anymore. So every time I've thrown 3, I've lost them. So
you throw 3 buoys, 1 each, or
I did last year. I did 1 pot, 1 buoy, and I would only do 1 at a time. And this year I'm doing 1 buoy, 2 pots. But I think I'm gonna bring the twins out there this weekend, and we'll probably do 2 pots on one and 1 pot on the other, and just do overnight sits.
did they bump it to 4 pots this year, or is it still 3?
I'm pretty sure. So last year got bumped down to 2.
Oh, so it's 3 then. It's 3.
And
Okay,
then
it's not 4.
they're
It's not 4.
close to Whittier area. I think is 2, and then outside of Whittier area is 3. I believe. There's a map.
They don't have a rope. There's not a rope there.
A what?
A rope. Past
Some
this.
mar-
It's
No. There's a guy peeing.
a velvet rope.
You're like, oh, I passed the guy peeing.
Oh, I can drop another pot.
Yeah. So anyway, so he showed me gave me some ideas of a new spot because I wanted to go out, and I don't know if you guys have ever been out to Deepwater Bay, but there's some really cool granite mountains out there that are very, very like similar to like El Capitan. Like it's just.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like you're in Yosemite back there, and there's a nice little hike. So, and there's a sandy beach. So, somewhere between Whittier and there, Nick gave me the heads up. It's called Shrimpn Basin. if you want to look it up online.
Nice.
But anyway, so
Right, is it
so he gave
off of Upper Huffman?
It is, yeah. Shrimp Basin is
Got it.
off of.
Right,
But
that
anyway,
one
I
spot.
missed my target on the first drop. Like it was a narrow target, and it's just like I have like the rope, the regular rope everyone else uses that totally gets in knots and shit, and it just did, and I got drug and I was just like, all right, well we'll just see. Hopefully we nailed it, and we did not nail it. So we went empty on that one, pulled it, fished for a while, then went dropped them again, and then anyway pulled those the next morning, and I had 70 per pot. So
wow.
Holy shit.
yeah, so I got a new spot. And that was my best pull that I've done. I've had some 50s, but never. One was 69, one was 70, and that was the best. But I did switch the magnet trick. That thanks Uncle Ryan for telling me about that, and I think that helps because just based on like my dad's numbers and my numbers last year, this magnet thing seems to like, I don't know if it doubles it, but we've definitely seen it increase.
Explain that.
What's elaborate on the magnet thing.
So, I mean, it's maybe a fisherman's tale, but I guess this magnet, putting a tiny magnet, my magnet is a magnet probably holds like 3 pounds,
Pretty heavy duty then.
Yeah, it would be like a small industrial one. And so I tie it off inside the shrimp pot, and it creates a magnetic field, of course. And I guess shrimp can feel that magnetic field. They have all different sensory system than us. And
all the pro hot tips.
Yeah. So I did that. Now I did not do this
project.
The Ira Edwards, special shrimp bait. But
he's got that like chum cup.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him out on the boat halibut fishing. You guys can join us. It would be a weekday this summer.
I'd love to.
And when we go do that, we're gonna try the shrimp bait.
He hit me up. He's gonna be on the Kenai. I'm gonna try to link up.
Nice. Yeah. So anyway, I thought we were going out for like hikes and stuff and do a little bit of fishing, but it turns out people from the Midwest want to come to Alaska and fish.
Yeah.
No surprise. And so we fished a lot. And I had a lot of learning for me because I'm used to fishing with maybe like one newbie kind of thing on the boat, but not like, Darcy's pretty good, but not a whole group. And I could have done a little better, but they definitely hooked a lot of fish, and we there was kind of a little bit of a shit show, and we lost a really, really nice halibut. Yeah. And there's some learnings on that one. It was, it was coming up, and I didn't think it was that big. So I didn't get the spear ready early, and then I did get the spear ready and went to and I tied it to a buoy, and I went to the swim deck, and so like naturally, like, all right, reel it up. I'm thinking he's gonna pull it up towards the swim deck, but he didn't, and I didn't coach him on this, right?
Yeah,
like very clearly had never been saltwater fishing, so he's doing a killer job of
from Missouri, never been
saltwater fishing, right?
Weird.
But he's doing a killer job.
Like
we're jigging and drifting. He's not getting snagged. He has a giant halibut, right?
Yeah,
like he's doing
that's risky for newbies to drift,
right? And he got
loosen tackle doing that.
He got this big halibut up to the boat with me thinking it was like a 15-pounder, and it was much bigger. So anyway, so when he brings it up, instead of bringing it kind of towards me, and that was my mistake. I should have gone to the middle of the two people fishing, not the swim deck. But if I was with like you guys would like bring it up
Walk
to
it
the,
over.
swim deck. Swim deck's the best place to spear it. So that was really my fault. And then the fish swims, since he went the other way, it swims into his sister's line, and then they're all tangled. And then there was they let the fish kind of surface, and it was a J hook, so it spit it. And they're like, spear it. And I was like, wow, that's like a 10-foot shot.
As soon as it went
I almost got that, man. Oh, yeah, so it swam away. And I didn't realize also, my bad, that they wanted a lot of meat, because that wasn't like what we had talked about previously. And I thought we were going out for like a sightseeing tour kind of thing, maybe fish for a minute. I didn't know we were bringing back coolers of meat, which I'm totally down with. And so I felt really bad because if I knew that, we would have had way different conversations. I thought we were fun fishing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's what I do. Anyway, so we fished a lot. And we had a great time, and the weather was killer.
Nice.
Yeah, good lesson learned for me.
You had a quick question, kind of back to the shrimping. Are you a round pot, square pot guy? Like you talk about losing pots. I'm wondering what you're.
So
I struck a question just to get a chance to ask it. But.
So I originally started with big round pots. The 3 were kind of negotiated when I bought the boat, so I had those and I lost them. And then my dad lent me 3 round pots, and I lost them with Tomps. And then I lost some more pots that I bought from from a garage sale.
You have lost some pots.
So then I was like, I'm done. And so last year, my neighbor Ben lent me 1 pot. And I was like, hey, I'm going to lose it, man. And he's like, dude, it's all good. So I learned how to set them better and all this stuff. And I'm very cautious, doing great. And then one time I asked Jake to throw it out for me because he was out on the boat. And then I'd get it later that night.
Yeah.
So he threw it out in the morning. Or it was maybe the night before. And then the next day I went out to get it. And it was in an easy spot in Colross. And it was fucking stuck. Like I got there. There was like not a bunch of extra slack. I felt like I pulled it in the right direction. And it just fucking slack. It was stuck. So I lost that one. And so then I was like, I'm done. I'm not paying for these things. And at the same time, I'm like talking to the dude out in the valley about those square pots. Because those are legit for space savings, right? And so I'm like, you fold them down and rebuild them each time. So I really like that. And he has the rope that doesn't knot up. And so I like that rope, which I still don't have. Anyway, so I'm done. And then the Freshie brothers are making a dump run. And they run into this dude that has already thrown like 30 shrimp pots into the dump. He's an old commercial shrimp fisherman that's just done. Like, you know, he's
doesn't even want to sell them, doesn't care.
Yeah, he's like, no one would want these. And then my buddy and Jesse's like, yep, I know someone that will want these. So he got me 8. So I have 8 at my house. I had to restitch them. Sure. But now there's like guilt-free losing these things. So now I'm back into the game, and I've definitely been doing good this year. So it's
how many of those 8 you got left?
All 8. All 8, baby.
Can only drop 3. So.
Yeah, I haven't had any sticky moments yet. So
I wanted to clarify something too for regulatory purposes, that Jack and Jake are co-owner of the same boat with the same number that matches the same buoy, for the record.
Okay, good.
I wanted to clear that up, so I didn't think Jake dropped a pot for his boat and then Jack went and picked it up. You're not allowed to do that.
No.
However, if you were, you guys own the boat as partners and you guys have it.
Oh,
boat,
I didn't know that.
And the buoy belongs to the boat, so legit.
Both of our names are on the buoy.
I want to make sure for clarity. Anybody that's a Boy Scout out there listening to this is like, oh, you can't do that. Don't be coming at me with that shit. It's legit.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. So we're not doing any. Well, I definitely am not doing any illegal shrimp.
You know what's going to happen?
I'm hardly doing legal stuff, right?
You know what's going to happen now? You're never going to lose a pot.
Oh, man. I don't know about that. I will say I got bolder, though, because all the places I set this trip were all ones that, Nick gave me, like, an area, and then I picked an area near his that I did real good in. And then we were just running around the sound going way out, so I was picking new spots.
Overnight soaks, too?
Yeah. No, one was overnight, and one was just for, like, 6 hours. And both of them did good. Yeah,
nice. What's like the average overnight? Is that what normal or just?
I think most people throw them overnight.
I thought it was always better to do them a little longer, not too long, but
okay.
I mean, I've been out shrimping with guys where they left them out there for days on end and go out there and pick them up.
What's like a minimum?
6 hours, right?
An hour.
Really? Just put it down.
I think it's just getting the bait soaked and
attracting them.
Yeah, get it.
What if you have a
saturated
the pellets? Yeah,
and they're breaking out. If you're doing like an hour, you want it pre-soak for a day or two.
I kind of feel like what Jack was saying, alluding to a tide swing, so the scent is like rolling, and swirling. Yeah, and then
maybe a 20-pound magnet for the hour soak.
I think that there's there's diminishing returns after like an hour, and it starts to drop, right? So you're still going to do better overnight, but instead of getting like 10 in the first hour, you'll get like 8 the next hour, and then 6, and then 4 the next 8 hours, whatever. And so if you would drop your pot every hour or two, you'd get way more than overnight, but that's also a lot of work.
Yeah, okay.
And that's my experience. The only like killer shrimping trip I've ever done was on Eric Dickerman's boat, and we killed it. And we did our soaks.
You were filling 5-gallon buckets?
Yeah, we did awesome, but we were pulling the pots every hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is a lot of work.
Yeah, it was
It's
fun,
like
though.
nonstop.
That's
Yeah.
all we did out there. It was great.
It's pretty cool.
And
So
it
you're
was
just, like,
beautiful
drop,
weather. It was like
pick-
April 16th.
Oh, early.
Yeah.
So you sent him home with a bunch of shrimp and
Yeah,
some
we
fish?
did. Yep.
Yep.
We had to save some for Packy because he's a shrimp monster.
Loves
but-
it. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So the kids are stoked. That's what I said. What do you want to do? They said, we want to go sound. I said, what do you do out there? They said, we want to eat shrimp. So
Yeah.
we'll go eat some shrimp.
So you guys did shrimp, rockfish, got some halibut.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. We fished for kings for a bit too.
Did some trolling.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. That's also something I wouldn't recommend to do with 3 people. I've never done that before. That was kind of I didn't realize like how much is going. I was like, I can manage it, and it's just too much to
Driving the boat, and
Yeah.
man the rods.
especially when you're rocking around points that go from like 30 feet of water to 300, and you're fishing at 110 feet.
You're like, oh shit, rim back there, crank them up.
Yeah. So that was a learning for me as well.
No lost gear.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
bottom came up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun though. We had a good time. They were awesome boat guests, and explored the sound more. Stayed
That's
in
awesome.
some new coves.
If I remember right, was somebody gonna pop a question? on the boat?
Yeah. So that was the plan. Yeah, there was going to be a proposal made from the folks coming up. They're a really delightful couple, and very much in love. And I think that just being on the boat in the sound and with another couple, and then sleeping on the beach and stuff, I think you get kind of weathered out there. So I think he made the good call, and he waited a day and then like went on a nice hike with her in Girdwood afterwards and popped it, and she did say yes.
Nice.
It was a successful trip.
Okay.
So they brought
So it
fish
was a
home,
delay.
and she brought a rock.
Sweet.
Yeah. So it was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You get out there and the weather part, but I don't know, that like weird equilibrium shift from like on the boat, off the boat, on the boat, off the boat.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get off the boat and you're just like, I don't know how you guys jump in the shower and like it's still moving.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
kind of like,
The sea legs.
that wears you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, I could see, especially if you don't do that very often, ever have done that before. It does take it out of you.
Well, and they wanted to fish, right? And so fishing all day is exhausting.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, like I
dude.
think that we would have had more energy if we would have like fished for a couple hours and then like go on a hike and have a fire on the beach or go paddleboarding. But we didn't do that, and so it was super fun. But I think everyone was super exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm bad.
And it's probably just blazing.
Yeah,
Just hot.
Just the sun just sucking the life right out of you.
Although that 80-degree day that Anchorage had out there was like 45 degrees and wind was just howling, overcast. And so when we drove back through the tunnel on Sunday night, I was like, what? It's nice there? Why are we out here?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
It flipped. Was that Sunday?
Yeah, it was Sunday.
Saturday was like flat though, right?
Yeah. Friday and Saturday were amazing. Yeah. And then, these guys like Nick and Chris that were out there for 6 or 7 days before that, they just nailed it.
Wow.
Every
They
day
do
was
it
epic.
week-longers?
They were out there for 6 days. Yeah. Both their,
a lot of-
wobbly
both their
after that.
families.
Fuel. Burn a lot of fuel doing that.
Well, if you're sitting in a
I
spot.
don't think they go that far. They just
Okay.
explore. They're not out there fishing really. They're out exploring and just enjoying nature.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Jackie, why don't we start with you and your sleeping bag?
Sure.
I'll
Sure.
go there. And another thing before we start, like these things that we're talking about, it's just bags that we use that we find are appropriate for the activities that we're doing. We're not sponsored by any of these bags or any of these people. These are just things that we've found over the years. As you've been lifelong Alaskans, you buy certain bags and you decide if it's the right one for you, or you try something else, whether it's synthetic or down or whatever. So we're just telling you guys basically what we use and the application for when we use it, which is probably the better deal, because any lifelong Alaskan probably has 2 to 5 sleeping bags, right?
Yeah, I have like
Yeah.
7
You
of
find yourself needing a bag for a certain situation, whether it's a tight backpacking trip or like 0 degree or winter or hot summer, like we got going on
You got some
right
for
now.
your kids. You got 1 or 2 for the wife.
Yeah.
You know, you got them all over. And to be clear, as Daniel stated, this is not a gear review. This isn't like we're going to do a full spec sheet on these sleeping bags. These are sleeping bags that we found were the right equipment for the use that we're doing. And there's no bias to these particular brands or what they offer. This is just like, hey, I thought this would be a good piece of equipment for what I do. We've gone out and used them, I don't know, 50 times or something, and put them through every single scenario you could probably think of. And, you know, we like to use the word certified with the Alaska Wild Project. Yeah, this is a certified product. May be certified to one, may not be certified to another, but we're not going to come out on the show and tell you about it if we didn't feel like we thought it was a certified piece of equipment. So,
yeah, for sure.
Unofficial stamp.
There you go.
Yeah. So my sleeping bag story that I can remember, we all had these like crappy ones until we got to a certain age. And when
Sesame Street Coleman that you started with when you were
I'm pretty sure mine were from garage sales, but
for sure
we were definitely
the
garage
flannel
sale
interior.
Exactly. The other people's old oils from their body on you. Yeah.
they kind of hold a smell. Old bags.
Yeah, man. No way.
Oh,
I wasn't, like I said, I was at Hardware Lamina and I was like, man, people sell old sleeping bags?
I have 2 used sleeping bags.
Really?
That were, well, I was told you just use once, whatever. I washed them with a treatment, and
Good.
I think they're solid. Yeah. So just to like,
Good on you. Good on
yeah,
you.
I mean,
I just
was
feel
a little
weird
leery
even like
about
letting
it, but
people borrow. Like if it's my cousin or something, then it's like, all right.
It can get weird.
But it's
nobody wants to borrow my sleeping bags. Let me tell you right now.
Yeah, the fart sack.
You don't call it a fart sack.
Too much dehydrated food.
Oh my god.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Yeah, so I think I was 13 when I got my first real sleeping bag, and I had that sleeping bag until just a few years ago, and it lasted that whole time. It was for a portion of time for 20 years. It was my only sleeping bag, and that sleeping bag was a Slumberjack Ultra Light guide bag, and it cost like $120, and it was a super light 30-degree bag. It was synthetic, and it just did great. And so that's what I grew up sheep hunting in, backpacking in, going to moose camp in. And like I said, it's a 30-degree bag, but I run really hot. So I frequently sleep with my feet out of the sleeping bag and my body in the sleeping bag because they have that lower zip. And so I ran that for a long time. I would still have that bag and be using it and be perfectly happy with it. But one of 2 people at sheep camp left a tent open for the day, and these what are those little guys called?
I call them ground squirrels.
Call them marmots, but they're not. They're not marmots.
They're the guys we saw last year and took pictures of. They're all camo.
Oh, the Pikachus?
Yeah, the Pikachu guys.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Oh, those ones went in there.
Not the Eureka squirrels.
No. These are like, they're actually called Pikachus.
Yeah, Pikachus. They're like this awesome like camo looking.
They look just like a rock.
They have like some stripes on them or something, don't they?
And they
no, I'll pull it up real quick because I had a cool video. Man, they are so camo.
You do have a good video of that.
Yeah, it's probably gonna pop up like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Pokemon.
Yeah, Pikachu.
Shit. Maybe they're not called Pikachus.
They are, because I looked it up after that. Pika. I think it's just there. It's just a Pika.
Yeah. Pika.
Okay, so there it is. It just looks like a little rodent with no tail, with big ears.
It's more of a mouse.
So they're the ones that make all that racket call when you're up sheep hunting. It's not the ground squirrels.
Oh, that, like,
these guys.
Yeah, there's a good one right there, like just yelling.
Yeah. So these guys,
nasty little teeth.
These cute little pikas made their way into my tent, and I don't know why they didn't go on my dad's side, but they definitely hung out on my side, and they ate.
They liked your musk,
I guess, and they shit everywhere, and then they also ate a billion holes in my bag, and it was like I tried to patch it with like the tenacious tape and all that, and no, not having it. So and I lost a ton of insulation, and it's already like not that warm of a bag. And so the way that I made that bag work at like moose camp or fishing, steelhead in April was I would always bring a wool blanket. So I had that bag, and then, if it was real cold, then I'd put the wool blanket over it, and I was fine. And then sleeping on a sleeping pad or a cot, of course, helps. So ran that for a long time. A few years before that, I had this Arctic trip planned where we were going to do a September caribou hunt, and we're going to do some fishing. And I wanted a really light bag because we were going to get flown in and then raft out. And there was a mixture between pack rafts and some other rafts. So I did a bunch of research, in the lightest 0 degree bag I could find that had awesome reviews was a big Agnes Storm King 0. And how it's like 3 pounds, 3 pounds, 7 ounces.
Was it the one that I was just holding?
Yeah.
This one here.
Super light.
Unbelievable.
And that's like the long, wide one, the one that we're talking about that Brandon held. Yeah, that's the exact bag.
So light.
And so how they save, so it's synthetic, but also there's no insulation on the bottom. And so what you do is
that has the sleeve.
You slide the pad in, and the pad is the insulation on the bottom, and it works really good. And the thing that I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about it, the thing that I really like about it is I roll a lot and move a lot, and that thing, because it's set up like that, I always I never roll off my pad because it's built in.
Yeah.
So I really like it, and I can get like the Mondo Deluxe pads in, or I can get a small backpacking pad in. So I do have that sleeping bag, and I use that for like moose camp, basically like September through April. And then in May I use this other bag that I have. Oh, here, I'll pull out my Storm King here.
Yeah, some people love that pad, and some people roll around, and then that pad's like on top of you. Just depends. It probably takes a little skill to like roll in the bag and not roll with the bag is what I normally do.
Yep.
I turn around, next thing you know, like I can't get out.
Yeah.
I've definitely never had
spin the
pad
zipper around under you,
rip up on me, but or turn up on me. But yeah, you can see here. Oh, and it has like a nice little pillow holster too. So right above where you slide the bag in, you can put your little pillow in.
This little guy here?
Yeah, you can put that guy.
Oh, right on.
And then here's where you put the pad in. So it's pretty nice. And it's warm. It's a warm bag. It's thick.
And this is synthetic, or
yeah,
is down?
that's synthetic.
You sure? There's like feathers coming out of it.
Oh, I thought it was synthetic. It's been a long
the
time.
way how light it is, that's why I kind of.
It's down. It's down.
Yeah, it is. That's a down.
Yeah, so it is down. It's been a while. It's called
650 fill down tech.
Down Tech water repellent. So
650.
But anyway,
so
really
waterproof down.
Really like this bag. It's pretty awesome.
And you're a pretty big guy, like wide, like it's roomy.
Yeah. So that's a like wide, long bag.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always try to get wide and long. Although this next bag, I wish I would have got the
Real quick, that big Agnes, can you compress that and backpack it?
Yeah, it's pretty small when you do use a compression sack.
Have you taken it on a mountain hunt or anything? I mean, you run hot, so you probably didn't need that much bag.
I've taken it to Kodiak in a backpack.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bivving and carrying it to go biv, or just
to camp.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't bivvy, but yeah.
But it was able to pack down in size to where it was manageable with like a camp and like.
So growing up, sheep hunting bags
stuff.
didn't compress to this size.
True.
They compressed to like normal size.
And you kind of strapped them outside the bag back in the day, right?
No, I put them in. I mean, they compressed pretty small, probably double this before, and that's probably what that one does. About double this guy.
Yeah.
So
that's like perfect size right there.
Yeah. So yeah, this one's small. This is, and I think I could pack it smaller. I just had it this weekend, so I wasn't like trying to crank down on it. But this is my Nemo Disco 30 degree bag. So I'm back to 30 degrees. I didn't get the long, which was not wise on my part. Although it did fine, when we were up sheep hunting last year. I wish it was a little longer. Luckily, I pulled my feet out every one of those nights. So I'm 6 foot, and I would definitely get the long next time. So this bag's 1 pound, 15 ounces, and I think the long's like 2 ounces more. So that was a really poor decision on my part. But I mean, this is the lightest, smallest bag I've ever had. I thought my Slumberjack was light, and that was like 2 something. But this is, under 2 pounds, 2 pounds for a sleeping bag. It's nuts. It also has some like other cool technology where it has these zippers. I think they call them thermo gills, and that basically,
on the top.
Yeah. Well, it's like around your chest. So if you're getting real hot in your sleeping bag, you can
ventilate.
Yeah, ventilate, and it doesn't open up completely through it. It just bypasses the insulation. So that's pretty cool. And there's also like a nice little place for my headphones because I like to sleep with headphones.
Oh, I like the bright color.
Yeah. So it's a small bag. It's not like real puffy like you'll see with some of these other light bags. But
this down too?
Down. Yeah, it's down.
Yeah.
650 fill.
Mm-hmm. Damn, you're going full down. You take this on the sheep hunt?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so here's this little thermogil things. Open up. And so
okay. You can't stick your arms through there? It's just
no,
like a
no,
okay. Gotcha.
Yep. No.
Well, now they got them where you can put your arms out, and like it's crazy now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I would like that a lot. But I can also stick my feet out, which is good. And then there's some...
That's a light bag, dude.
Basically phone pockets and stuff. But I really like it. I think they did a good job with this bag. I love the Slumberjack, but... who wouldn't like a lighter bag? So
yeah, and so the inside of the bag is that bright neon color.
Yeah.
You know what I really like about that, outside of it just being kind of flashy and cool looking, is that God forbid you got into a situation where you had to be rescued, you could open that up and like flap it out.
Oh yeah,
and
never thought about
airplane
that.
or helicopter could see you much easier.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't want that to happen, but that's a hell of a red or neon flag for something to see you.
Yeah. I liked being able to see my clothes in the bag because, sometimes you end up with like sock or something in your bag. Mm-hmm. You can see it and it's not like camoed in there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I like it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, so you're a down guy.
I do like down.
Yeah, because I think there like some what's the word I'm looking for? Like paranoia. For like the the guy who goes synthetic, you can get it wet, you can dry it out, hold heat longer maybe. Versus the down, I mean, once I get soaked, it's kind of screwed. I think I've never
Depends.
slept
That
in
one
a down
has
bag.
the waterproof down in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying if I got a little wet, he wouldn't be warm still. He'd be all right because it's gonna.
But that is a big
body heat.
debate.
But yeah, it's like to go full feather down on moose hunts, which can be wet, on sheep hunts, which can be wet.
Yep.
It's like a risky proposition, but
why is the inside of your, tent getting wet?
I was more or less thinking like it's just raining so hard while you're like going from point A to point B, where you like putting up the tent, it's wet. You're putting your gear in the tent, your gear's wet. Like it's just shit's getting wet because you can't help it.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that is a good point.
Yeah,
like most of the time, you're not busting the sleeping bag out until the tent's up and you're in the tent.
Yeah.
But I will say that if you're doing a teepee, we've had situations where like the door opens, and
water gets in,
and you're getting rained on, or that condensation is in there dripping on you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always like damp when it's really raining.
Yeah.
Even if you're not like getting wet from the rain, it's just so damp. Mm-hmm. And then I think too, maybe that's part of that like teepee thing where you're like on the ground's wet. You put your tarp down, the water's still kind of like, I don't know. It's just damp. Mm-hmm. It's like wettish damp.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like that's why I go with the bags that I use. Cause I think they perform well wet. And I always just thought I'd be wet. And if I got wet, I could still be warm.
Yeah.
Like worst case scenario all the time.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
But I love the down bag. Like, dude, that don't weigh nothing. It packs down tight. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful looking piece of equipment. And I'm sure they're warm. Very, very warm. Yeah. And so
I like them.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break and then we'll jump into your bags.
Okay. Yeah.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963.
Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska, tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier Gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney's Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
Arbor Capital. Arbor Capital is based in Anchorage, Alaska, and it's your go-to wealth management company. Arbor Capital is at the forefront of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. If you've been looking to invest your hard-earned money or you just want to learn more about crypto, blockchain technology, or digital investments, give their website arborcapital.io a visit. What's great about Arbor is they provide a low-cost, transparent, research-based investment strategy for digital assets and traditional investments as well. arborcapital.io is your first step in putting your money to work. Let one of Arbor's investment professionals walk you through your options for financial growth and security. Start investing for the future today at arborcapital.io. Arbor Capital, your Alaska digital asset company.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers, custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com. We going straight full Wiggie?
Let's get wiggy with it. Let's get wiggy with it.
So, I guess at this point, I can officially say I'm pretty brand loyal to Wiggie's equipment. I haven't really tried anything else, so I don't have the, like we did previously on a gear overview, I kind of went through 3 different brands and models and things, and I decided I went and kind of planned my first legit moose hunt. Kind of past the years I did it with my dad, and my dad got us decent gear. We weren't running around in the crappiest Coleman 80-degree bag. Yeah. But I had this Slumberjack huge, thick, ginormous sleeping bag that was you could never take on a backpack hunt, or it took up its own 80-liter dry bag. Yeah, but very warm. I mean, that thing was sweating all the time. I then upgraded to another Slumberjack because I thought Slumberjack was the hot boy shit. Yeah, but it was affordable-ish, so I was like, oh, this is a good brand.
Good bags.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, this isn't talking shit about the brand. It's just, so I got I think I got my first legit 30 bag. It was a Slumberjack, and it packed down pretty good. It was a little heavy, good bag. Well, we went up. Oh shit! What were we doing? We were pike fishing or something in August, pike and duck hunting, and we went out, got down to where we were going to launch the boat, and decided it was a little too late, and we were going to sleep in the truck that night. So the homie had the truck with Bruce had the canopy in the back of his truck. So we're going to sleep in the back of his truck, throw some air pads down and sleep. And I shivered the entire night. It dropped to 25 degrees. I mean, the lake had a little ice on the edge the next morning. And I'll just never forget that whole night. I just shivered.
It's the worst.
And I don't shiver. Yeah. My kids tell me that I got bear skin and shit. I run hot. I don't get cold.
Yeah.
And this is before I knew about puffies and appropriate layering, which
Just the waffle thermals.
I mean, it was like September 1st or something. It wasn't that late, but in that particular area, it just dropped. And I remember just shivering that night. And then I had, obviously that's all the bag I had for the whole trip. We were out for 3 nights, and luckily that was the only really cold night. The rest of them were like manageable. So I got through it. But I told myself after that, when we got back, I'm like, I'm getting a bag. I'm getting a good bag. So fast forward next year, we're going to go moose hunting, and we're going to go up north. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to like spring and get a good 0 bag. Working with some guys at the time, they're like, you got to go Wiggies, man. Like, they hunt the brooks, they go caribou hunting, sheep hunting, grizzly bear hunting. They live and die by Wiggies sleeping bags and Wiggies anorak jackets. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right. So me and my boy Eric go over to Wiggies, and man, we're in there for like 4 hours with Mark Taylor. He's got the cot, and he's got the sleeping bags on the cot. He goes in the back and pulls them out, lays them down so you can lay in them, sleep in them, test fit the mummy, test fit the square. You can do the whole thing. So you get to really and then he gets to tell you all about his story of like survival and how Wiggie's sleeping bag saved his life. Uh-huh. And that's how he became a dealer, and he's got the whole thing. And then I did some more research and found out that jet pilots and F-16s, that's in their crash kit.
Oh yeah.
If they eject out of a plane and land in the woods and got to survive, in their kit, in their chairs, a Wiggie sleeping bag. I'm like,
oh, that's awesome.
Done deal, dude.
Got me.
If fucking Tom Cruise, the Top Gun, has got a Wiggie's, this shit's got to be certified. So end up, I go with the Wiggies. Was it the Ultra Light? What is that 0 bag? Super light. And went with the full mummy. I'll bust it out here. And just before I even start, I'll just compare, because I have a 0 bag and a 20 bag. So I got my moose early and late season, and then I've got my summer, mid-season / ultra light-ish sheep hunting bag.
Yeah. So as you pull that out, the ultra light is the 20-degree bag, and the super light is the 0-degree bag. And then they have the Antarctic, which is -60-degree bag.
Yeah, that's Iditarod.
Yeah.
Arctic camping type stuff. So I'm just gonna throw them up in the camera now. These go way smaller too.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see I got the 20 here on the right, the 0 on the left. And these are not compressed down as tight as they go. They go a little bit tighter. But yeah, Jack, just lift it up real quick. Feel the weight
between the
bag.
20 and the 0.
Just lift them up. Yeah. And then that's my backpacking bag. Just still pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But so first year with that 0 bag, we go to moose camp, and we're in there for the first 10 days, and then we stayed for another 5. I think it was it was 17 days we were actually in the field.
Oh wow.
So we went through crazy switches, but the last week went to 5 degrees the one night. Insane. I don't know if you remember back, it was 14 or something like that, and Cantwell and Paxton, everything got snow dumped on them, raged the rivers up, dudes got stuck across the Golcana, and it all drifted out, but there was some epic snow for 2 nights.
Yeah.
And then it got really cold. Well, we were out that time. We decided to leave our base camp where we had cots and fucking buddy heaters and the whole shit. We went way deep and decided we were going to spend 3 nights, minimal rations, the whole 9. Just crashed in an Alaska Guide model tent, and we had air pads and these sleeping bags. And you guys, that sleeping bag proved its worth that night. And I had the Wiggie's anorak puffy jacket at the time. And so I went ahead.
What's that?
That's the same Lamalite material. That's the insulation, the synthetic down insulation that's in a Wiggie sleeping bag in a jacket.
Okay.
So it's a hoodie with the zip up.
Yeah.
So once you got that on and then snuggled in there, you were now a -20 level,
Yeah.
So that sold me. That night, that hunt was great with the bag, but that night that we spent up there, and it was frigid cold, and I stayed warm in that thing. I was all right, man, full certified stamp. I'm Wiggy sold. So rock that zero bag for years. Most of the time I'm like, I got it half unzipped. I'm flapping it open. I'm like way too hot. One really cool thing about Wiggie's bags, and like, again, this isn't like an overview to go tech spec, weight, this, that, and the other. This is like the bag performing in real life situations. So one thing I love about the bag, I didn't go the rectangular oversized bag like what Daniel has, what Josh has, what my brother has, what Eric has. All these guys have Wiggies. I have the mummy, but it's like, I'm not a real tall, big dude, you know? So I'm like, I fit in that regular mummy just right. But it's just enough space at the bottom where I can stuff my pants, socks, shirt, anything that I want to peel off that night. Instead of having sitting rolled up in the corner of the tent, I stuff it down there, and then I kind of let it roll around with me in my bag, and then it stays warm. So the next morning when you're slipping your hunting pants and stuff on, you're not slipping these like ice cold pants or, clothes
Hot
on.
tip.
So really cool about Wiggies. That was one thing that Mark told me. I was like, man, you stuff all your gear down there, keeps your feet warm, and then has your gear warm the next day when you put it on. I'm like, oh my God, like mind blown. I don't know why I ever thought of that. Other thing that's really cool about these, I mean, he straight dumped a gallon of water in the bag. Like, went to the back, grabbed a gallon, pitcher, dumped it in there, and in a matter of hours while you're in that bag soaking wet, it absorbs your body heat and then releases all the moisture out of the bag. So half the time you'll wake up in the morning and you'll have like moisture on like a little layer on the top. That's because you went in it wet or sweat or something like that, or had wet gear. That's the other thing that's really cool. Your pants are damp, your socks are damp, something's like wet. You want to actually put it down in your bag and then let it dry out with your body heat. That Lamalite insulation absorbs your body heat and then gets rid of the moisture. So that's what's cool. really, it's proven. Daniel, you've jumped in that thing.
Yeah, I got some stories when I'm up here.
Yeah, and like one time we came back after a biv night up in sheep country, and I took my boots off and got in that bag soaking wet with my rain gear on, everything on. I gave zero shits. We were so cold. It was so wet. God, it was so gnarly. Tired. I just was like, you know what?
Did you have your boots on too?
I was going to, and I was like, I don't want to get them muddy. So I like kicked them off real quick, kicked my gaiters and my boots off, and just jumped in there completely soaked with my Gore-Tex rain gear on. And I laid in that thing for like 6 hours and then jumped out. Everything was still damp, but at least it like retained it, or like it soaked it up, peeled all that shit off, then went back to bed that night in my regular like dry clothes. Next morning, everything was bone dry. Oh, that's cool. Could not believe it. I was like, wow, this is no joke. But you got to go in warm though, you know, because it's working with your body heat. So that's the zero bag. Again, the late season, tried and true, cold weather. Shit, I think I've even taken that thing Arctic camping, ice fishing and ice huts and stuff. I mean, I if I'm layered up with puffies in there, I don't even need a buddy heater to stay warm, or even survive for that matter. So fast forward, first sheep hunt, I'm thinking like I need a good bag. Go right back down to Wiggie's here in town and go talk to Mark, and again, another 2.5 hour ordeal hanging out with him, talking everything, hunting and outdoors. And then I'm like, hey, I need a good bag. And he's like, I got the one for you. He's like, I remember you. I remember you got this size. I'm like, what? Do you remember all this shit? Yeah. Anyway, so he busts this thing out. First bag, only bag I even needed to lay in. Same setup, mummy style, regular, a little bit lighter, compresses down a little bit more, all the same features. One thing that was really cool about that is, and I was mentioning before we started the recording, was that I was always the guy on the end of the teepee. So a diamondback teepee is really like great for two dudes. Definitely can keep 3 or 4 in a pinch, but great for 2 guys because you got the fiber or the carbon fiber pull in the middle, right? Well, Cisco's a hoss, so he takes like basically a third of the tent, the one side.
Oh yeah, a third.
I'd say a third. Yeah, and then me and you shared that. We kind of tilted the pole, and then me and Daniel like were snugged up to each other on the other side. But I always took the edge because both these damn fools had feather light or down bags. I'm like, I got a Wiggies, I can get wet. So I'd always be the dude that like let like 2 or 3 inches of the outside of my bag kind of get damp the whole hunting trip, but it never affected me. Never got cold. Never had a problem with it. Yeah, and Because it was funny, the joke, because he was like, oh, he's got a Wiggies. He's fine, man. Just put him on the edge. He can get wet. So they're tried and true. They're not terribly expensive. We're talking like in the range of $200 to $300. They have sales on them. So you're not talking like a Western Mountaineering or one of these other bags, which are amazing, sick products. But they're $500, $600, $700, even $800, I think $1,000 for some of these sleeping bags, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely want at some point to upgrade to some of these lighter, high performing bags, but tried and true, $200 to $300 price point, rock solid, Alaskan proven, condition proven sleeping bags that absolutely will do what they need to do. You'll survive. My one bag is I'll bust it out because I'm actually pretty proud of the one.
Which one are you busting out?
The zero.
The zero.
I just like the color.
The 0 degree bag?
Yeah, because everybody gives me shit about it.
Oh, the purple one?
Why you gotta bust, man?
Oh, the perp? Well, because people aren't looking. A lot of people are listening. Yeah, I like that. There it is.
purple.
Yeah.
That's your 0?
This is my zero bag.
Yeah.
So,
It's beautiful.
These are smelly.
Yeah.
they are smelly.
Man, it brings out your eyes, that color.
That one was just Daniel left the tent open when he passed out on Saturday, just fully clapped, and the campfire smoke was just rolling in the tent in all our gear. So that one's gonna have a little extra.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So the purple bag, I kind of alluded to this earlier when Jack was presenting his bag, was the color. And what Mark told me was that I forgot the color he had, but it was a bright option. And when he had one of his rescue stories, he's been rescued like 3 times. He's like had to hit the button multiple times, like broken legs and like crazy shit.
And who's Mark?
Mark Taylor owns Wiggies, Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Knows these products in and out, even though I think, unfortunately, there's some sort of issue between the manufacturer and him, and I don't know that he can necessarily get Wiggies sleeping bags there anymore. You can definitely go on the website and get them. Fortunately enough, I was able to go in there and he had all the products in stock and, before all the demand issues and everything. So at any rate, the purple bag he sold me on because he said the brighter, more noticeable the bag, the better opportunity to be seen or rescued in the forest or mountaintop or something like that. Yeah. And I thought, oh, that's a really good idea because a sleeping bag opens up pretty large in terms of like overall space. And so and he's like, don't let your boys give you shit about this purple bag. And I'm like, man, I ain't going to. It's a big perp right here, man. This is a good bag. But
the big perp. Yeah.
So one of my like critical mistakes, I will admit, is that just kind of being naive and new to the game at the time. And even now I know, but yet I haven't done anything about it. I haven't stored my bags properly. Yeah, I didn't keep them in these big bags where they're lofty. I like keep them crammed in their sack. Yeah. Space, garage, everything's in the dry bag on a rack. I mean, I don't have it.
Well, you got 4 kids. You got 8 sleeping bags in there.
I do. I literally have I think I have 8 bags and 5 or 6 sleeping pads. You got to keep them compressed.
It's going to take up half the garage.
That's why I'm like, where am I supposed to put them?
Right.
But so I've messed up on these. I don't think that they're as lofty and as warm as they are. But this bag's got over 10 years on it. That bag's is pushing 10 years on it. So I'm proud of these bags. I won't really rattle on too much more. Wiggies, Lamalite, check it out. They're great products. They're affordable, tried and true Alaskan conditions. Can't beat them, man.
All right. Nice job. We'll be right back.
The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own new generation of old cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through the generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display trad flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menu includes handcrafted corn tortillas, salsas, carne asada, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience their tradition and sabor for yourself. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights, both with new tequila bars. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
The Connoisseur Lounge, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. The Connoisseur Lounge is Palmer's first locally owned and operated cannabis retailer. Their beautiful store is located at 226 Evergreen Avenue. The Connoisseur Lounge has exclusive cannabis products such as Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and one of our favorites, Sugar Cookies. And if you're not into the flower, the Connoisseur can hook you up with edibles, vape supplies, and a ton of CBD options for all your health and inflammation needs. Check out their daily deals at theconnoisseurlounge.net, or even better, stop by the lounge today. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store. All right, we're back. As anyone, I have 3 bags that I rock. I forgot the one. I forgot my my Mountain Hardware one.
I like that bag.
Yeah, so I got it up on the screen right now. I didn't bring it up here, and if you're not looking, it's the green one. It's the Lamina. Let me see if I had it right here. It's the Lamina Z Flame 22 sleeping bag. Now I bought this when we were going to go on our first sheep hunt, our first couple sheep hunts. But the first time that we went to the Brooks Range, this was the bag I had, and I froze that night. So as I did more research, a lot of times...
The night when we were coming out?
I don't remember exactly.
It was the end, because we had like a frost overnight.
Yeah, and I just froze. I just shivered
I remember
night.
feeling you next to me shivering the whole time.
It was the worst. After that, I was like, I need a new bag.
That'll ruin you.
But I love this bag because it's very wide. It's synthetic bag, and it's perfect for summertime. It's perfect for summertime, the river. And it's synthetic, you're on the river. I like to use synthetic bags when I am doing river stuff, when I'm going on a river float or I'm going on a river hunt. Because you never know, something's going to get tipped over, your bag's going to get wet, you know what I'm saying? And the whole synthetic thing, like we already ran through. But after that, Brooks Range, when I froze, I started really doing a lot of research on bags, as I do a lot of research on anything that I'm going to purchase that's going to full geek out, you know what I'm saying, save your lifestyle. And come to realize that 22 is like the bottom. When you do a rating, they have 3 ratings. They have life or death, you know what I'm saying? Then they have comfort, and then they have the top of the range or whatever. So the 22 degree is like life or death. So that night when it got down to 29 or whatever it was, or 30.
You survived, but not comfortably.
Yeah, exactly. Not comfortable at all. Yep. So, but I really like that bag because it's really wide. There's nothing fancy. It packs down to nothing. So it worked out, right?
Yeah, that's a badass bag. Actually.
So after that bag, it's a perfect bag for Kenai and summer. I use that bag all summer.
Yeah,
and I've had that bag.
Too? I think you brought that up there.
No, I did not. So I have a.
Oh, you had the.
So after that, let me put this hoss away real quick. So after that, I decided I'm gonna start looking into backpacking bags, and I just looked at every single brand. I looked at everything, Feathered Friends, Western Mountaineering. Everything, all the bags. I looked at all of them, and I just geeked out for days and days and days on YouTube videos and searching and how do they rate these and where do they rate these and what's the difference in downs and lofts and what does all these words mean, And so then I came across Western Mountaineering, which is American made, and they say that they have the best down in the world. It's not a waterproof down. It's a traditional down, but they went into detail on the loft, like the amount of loft created with the down, right?
And it's amazing.
And it's
How much
amazing.
loft
And it's amazing how much it is.
That thing's the
crazy.
loftiest thing I've ever seen.
So another thing with me is I move a lot and I sleep with my leg out, you know what I'm saying? I'm rolling around. I can't do a mummy bag. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
Like my arms fall asleep. It's just like I
get
can't do it.
claustrophobic.
I get claustrophobic. So I needed something that was wide. So I was like, what is going to be the widest, warmest, lightest bag you can find?
Ultimate package.
The ultimate bag. And I went and talked to Kevin at Barney's. I went and talked to Homeboy at AMH. And this is after I like did all the research. And I came across the Alpinlite, which is like specifically for mountaineering, mountain hunting,
Yeah,
mountain climbing.
lightweight.
You know, this thing is like 1.8 ounces. Okay. Supposedly
1.8 pounds.
1.8 pounds. Supposedly it can go into the extra small bag, but I normally put it in the small bag because to get it in the extra small, dude, you're like just it's like you're fully stuffing it, dude. But it fits in this tiny little bag, which like once this is compressed, it's like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe slightly smaller than the Nemo.
Yeah.
But when you pull this thing out, dude, it's just massive.
Yeah.
And it's just a loft fest, dude. It's just so lofty.
Dude, when
And-
you're like faces sticking out of it, I'm like, really, dude? Like,
Yeah, you're just like a caterpillar. So it's a 800. I want to say it's an 800 fill bag. Extremely light. And another good thing about them is their zippers. Like that's one thing that they advertise is that their zipper never gets stuck. And that was the one thing with the other bag. Every time it gets stuck and it'd be in there trying to, and it doesn't matter with this bag. It just zips up fast, zips up close. Like you can hear it. I'm just like zipping. It's not going to get stuck. This is
Yeah, it never hangs up on the
doesn't
edges.
hang up on anything.
Yep.
And it
The
has
seal
this.
is like wide, so it doesn't let the material hang up in the zipper channel.
Yeah,
Like it-
you see that?
yeah.
Yeah, I forget what they call that.
It's like a seal, right? Is it like a like
Yeah, I'm sure there's a professional word for it, but so anyway, so I got this bag and I took it out and I absolutely love this bag.
Yeah.
I mean, look
it's
how
a-
thick this thing
it's a
is,
nice
dude.
bag.
It's insane, dude.
I think you trial ran it on Kesugi in 19 when we did that couples hike.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did. That was actually the first time I brought it out there.
Yep.
Just sweating. It's a
First one was
20
kinda
degree
chilly,
bag, but the 20 degree, like I was saying on the rating thing, is like,
Not the life or death 20.
no, it's like the highest.
Yeah.
It's like the real rating. So really, you could
Right.
take this to the 0 degree and be like comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you're going below that, then it's when
Yeah.
you begin the shivers or whatever. So
It's a comfort rating, right?
it's the comfort rating. Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's always the you know with lightness, you know what I'm saying, is the material's not as thick. I mean, you can rub up on this thing, you might rip it.
Yeah, you
know
wouldn't
what I'm
want to lay
saying?
that down on rocks.
No, you're not gonna want to lay this down on rocks. It's not thick like the Wiggies. You know what I'm saying? But this thing packs to nothing. It's just like almost like a water bottle in your backpack.
Yeah.
You know, and then to puff up to that, it's just very comfortable. It's very wide on the shoulders, so like you can just be like, it's almost as wide as my Wiggies in the shoulder,
Yeah.
which is really nice. And
And
then
it tapers
then
down.
the bottom has if you look at the picture there of the box, it has like the box footing, so
Oh,
it doesn't
has
like
a
taper down.
Vertical, like,
Yeah, so your
height.
feet don't have to be like
yeah.
pointing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can be straight up, and you're still getting insulation on that thing.
Yeah. It's a really, really nice bag.
Yeah, so that's the Alpinlite, 20 degree, which I figured was perfect for mountain hunting.
I'm going to start calling it the Loftalite.
The Loftalite, dude, it's crazy.
Afterlight.
Doesn't
Yeah.
he? Doesn't it kind of look silly laying in the tent?
Yeah.
In it?
Oh, it's-
Dude,
and
I'm
I
like,
was super jealous.
And it's
yeah,
just
like
super
same
wide,
here. I'm
dude.
like, really, man? Like,
Yeah, I love that thing.
I'm just
I love
looking
it.
at my bag. It looks like just a piece of rag laying on the mat. This
thing's
dude's
just
just
lofted.
lofted out.
Now that's the mountain one. Now the other bag that I probably had the longest and have used the most is my Wiggie's 0 degree rectangular extra large, extra wide, extra long. Now this thing is
full
massive. I'm
full
6 foot.
gargantor?
I'm 6 foot, right? And I want to say I just looked it up. So the long is 90 feet. long.
90 inches.
90 inches long. 90 feet.
90 feet.
90 inches and 34 inches wide. So I can literally sleep on my stomach with my head, like I sleep like this, right? So I sleep on my hands with my elbows out and one knee sticking straight out, you know, and I could be totally in there just wide it out.
Nice.
With all my gear in the bottom.
Right. Everything in there. Yep.
Everything in there. And I will agree with the wet thing.
Yep.
Because when I went on the moose hunt, and like this is a synthetic bag, so I always bring this on any kind of float, extended float where it's going to get cold.
Mm-hmm.
I got COVID.
Yep.
On the moose hunt, first time, and all I did for 5 days straight was paddle all day, get into the sleeping bag, get into the tent as soon as we got to the camp, get in the sleeping bag and sweat, freeze and sweat, and freeze and sweat, and I would wake up every morning dry on the inside, and the outside just had a layer of like moisture.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep,
but I would be
sucked it right
totally
out
dry inside. It would just suck out all that sweat. It was amazing. It was like perfect for being sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because it was just like you'd sweat and sweat, and you wouldn't get cold, and then
your
you just open it up.
Your t-shirt wasn't drenched.
Yeah, and you wake up because you're sweating as you're rafting, and you don't want to change anything. I would just get in that thing and just
dry out,
shiver, and I'd wake up totally dry, and the sleeping bag would have all that moisture on the outside, which is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of musts up the tent a little, you know, with like the moisture.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's a lot better being separated from your body, you know.
If you're a hoss, go ahead.
What's up with the t-shirt comment? You wear t-shirts in your sleeping bag?
At times I have, yeah.
Well, that's another debate too, like sleeping with nothing and sleeping with
like clothes on.
or not.
Yeah, Daniel was like the first that on our sheep hunt. That was like the first time I slept in a tent with someone that like wore clothes.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I wear underwear.
Your boxers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some guys that sleep naked. I've gotten to the point now where I'm sleeping fully clothed.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
I'll tell you my deal. I've had many a times where I had to come out the tent because there's a bear situation or there's some sort, mostly because there's a situation and I don't want to come out of there and be naked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to bed late.
Yeah.
You know, so I just kind of
number one. It's just easier because you're like, dude, I'm just going to get in bed. Well, sheep hunting got me going on it because like you just have like one pair of clothes, kind of like you have your basic pair of clothes. So I got used to just like wearing my hunting pants, changing my socks. The hunting pants may have been damp a little bit or whatever, and then I would wear like a long sleeve shirt and then go to sleep in that. And then that way I could like pop up in the morning, throw a puffy on, throw my Crocs on, fire up the jet boil, get some coffee going, and I was like already clothed. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
Well, part of the clothes thing, like I take on a sheep hunt, you both have probably noticed, I bring the Under Armour, like the 4.0 stuff that's really tight. So it's almost like I'm wearing compression pants at night.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the knee issue and just like swelling and stuff like that after hiking all day.
Yeah.
It just feels to be good to be like compressed, and then I wake up in the morning, I'm not all like puffed out.
Yeah.
You know? And then getting up in the middle of the night, I hate to get out and just be like skin to like wet TB.
Yeah, you're 5,000 foot and you jump out in your boxers and pee in the wind. Like,
yeah. Then you get in there, it's just like the worst.
You don't bring a Gatorade bottle?
The Peezy? No.
Yeah, I've never pissed in my sleeping bag ever.
You don't pee in your sleeping bag.
Well, I didn't say pee on the sleeping bag. Oh, you actually stay in the tent just on your knees or whatever and then pee. Yeah. I was wondering if you guys are like laying sideways and peeing. I'm like, damn, how do you do that?
Yeah.
No, I
makes way more sense now, actually, that I think about it.
Now, what I will say is if there's I'm 6 foot, 215 pounds. Okay. I'm not a little guy. I would say I'm probably medium. But there's a lot of big hosses out there, a lot of big boys.
Yeah, I would say Carl Malone can fit in your sleeping bag.
This is the bag you want if you want to be comfortable and you're a big guy, if you're over 6 foot and whatever, 220 to 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, this is the bag you want. You know, just
that's a great
you're going to be
gauge.
comfortable. You don't have to worry about mumminess. It's just rugged and raw, and the zippers are thick, and you know. And I've had this bag for like 15 years.
Yeah.
One time I was caribou hunting, in the winter, Lake Louise.
There I was.
No pad, no nothing, right in the tent on the ice, just sleeping bag. Just this. Totally fine.
Yep.
It's just been proven. Mm-hmm. It's just been proven.
Yeah.
It's not light. It's not small.
No,
this thing is massive.
huge.
This thing is huge. You know what I'm saying? It's like a toddler. Looks like a toddler.
Brooks
Yeah,
Rangers
it's like-
loves that sleeping
It's
bag.
like a 60-liter backpack.
It's huge.
I mean, the way it's
This is-
stuffed
you're not
right now,
packing this thing
it'll
anywhere.
stuff tighter than that, but
No.
that's a mega bag.
Yeah, this is definitely not for. That's why I'm very jealous when you're able to bring your little Wiggies bag on a
Yeah.
on a
Yeah, 'cause it's
backpacking
the
trip.
same material in the bag,
Yeah.
just smaller.
Yeah.
Lighter, less of it.
Yep.
But I know it's going to do with the whole like moisture wicking. That's the word I've been looking
That's the
for all
word.
this whole night.
And it holds true. It holds true that you go in there wet,
Yeah.
or even wet stuff, and you wake up and it's going to be dry.
Yeah, like I've heard, multiple times guys just like, it's dark. I'm packing around. I'm doing my thing, and I'm just going to throw this bitch on the ground and just like
Yep.
slip in it.
Yep.
And it's wet. They pack it down. They put it in their pack. They're now going to their next location. Hopefully it's dry. They bust it out. Just kind of drape it out over the rocks. Let it dry out real quick.
Yep.
Put it in the tent, and
you're
good to go. Yeah.
Yep. And I will say that there's other bags that are similar to this. I know that the Kifaru slick bag, their insulation, I don't remember what it's called, but I think it's very, very, very similar to the Lamilite. And they protest, or they say the same deal, that you can go in there wet, and they even say you can go in there with your boots. And I know that the Peters brothers have that bag, and they love that bag.
That thing's lofty too.
Yeah, and it's a synthetic bag.
Scotty had it, didn't he?
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like is the center zip.
I
That's what I don't like about that.
I'd like to try
Because I
it.
roll so much, and then that center zip's going to be a under me zip. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I didn't like about it. But the bag is, they claim you go in
But
there
if
with
you
your boots.
figure out how to keep your zipper on the side, which if you've slept in a, I feel like if you've slept enough nights in a sleeping bag, you actually learn how to sleep in a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn how to twist and turn without twisting the bag up.
Yes.
That's where I think the center zip, if you're sleeping in it properly,
Yeah.
shouldn't
I
have
think
the
that's,
zipper
but I'm not a back sleeper. I'm
swim
not allowed
around.
to sleep on, like camping with the family. I can't sleep on my back. You get the full snore off. I'm a side or stomach sleeper. You know, so, and having that little zipper, and I sleep hot too, so I like to just put my arms out and things like that. Yeah.
flap it open.
Yeah, full flap off.
Yeah.
So that's the three bags that I use. In full disclosure, my wife has a REI bag that I bought her for I want to say Christmas or something like that, a 20 degree, and I just ordered her a Wiggies bag because she was cold the other night. So that would be a great backpacking bag, the REI one.
Yeah.
But for all these times where we go camping early in spring or late in September, you know what I'm saying, she comes up with me to go caribou hunting and stuff like that. Like, there's going to be no more worries.
Yeah.
She's not going to be cold.
Yep. Anytime the temperature is going to drop like in the lower 40s,
Yeah.
even though some may say, well, that's cold. And we're Alaskans. We're like, that's not that cold. Well, if you get on top of a mountain or elevation and it's 40 or 38 with a little wind chill and it's like got a weird damp thing going on, like it can be chilly.
Yeah.
And it's nice to snuggle up. It's a morale booster too when you get in that thing and you can get warm real quick.
Yeah.
You know, if you've had a really cold, hard day,
Yeah.
or you know, you just all you want is that bag. Like you're
think
hiking
about
out in the
it.
dark and you're just like can't wait to crawl in that damn bag.
Yeah.
A Wiggies is like something that you can't really.
I will say, I do
Beat,
take
you
my
know?
clothes off when I go in this bad boy.
Nice.
The loft a lot.
The loft a lot, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe it. That thing is like, because Eric's been in the market for a bag, and he's doing the full geek out.
Yeah. Which you should do because
Well,
I
if you're
mean,
going to spend $600 or $700, you should definitely do your homework.
Totally.
But I mean, I've seen that in action a couple times. I mean, it's legit. I haven't
And-
got to crawl in there yet, though.
oh, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just different like, what's the word? Situations for what bag. Like, I don't bring this
Yeah, you
bag
said-
anywhere
you
unless
said
I'm going to go
application.
applications
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
like
You know,
has
you
a
want something
purpose.
really, really light. You know what I'm saying? That's going to fit in a backpack, and you know what I'm saying. You still got to be warm.
Yeah.
You bring that. Like, I would never bring this thing anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jack would never bring that big Agnes on his boat if it was before October,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? Like it's
I headed out there for the Missouri people this weekend.
For them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think they liked it, but I
Oh,
would
I'm
never
sure.
use it out
Yeah.
there.
no.
Oh, another thing on this square huge one, like it opens up all the way to like a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like sometimes
Cover a pile of kids with it.
you probably the whole family just
Yeah.
in that thing. Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's cold. Just
Yeah.
drape it out and
Yeah. And how I
Really
know
snuggle
that
up
the
in it.
Kifaru thing is, I actually won a photo contest. I don't know if I told
Oh,
you guys this.
yeah.
I won a
remember
photo
that.
contest for Kifaru, and they sent me a whoopee. And it's basically a sleeping bag without a zipper. It's like a quilt, pretty much.
Oh.
But it's the same. It's not Lamilite. It's whatever their material is, but it looks the same. Like
it's
when
what
I
they have in their puffies and stuff.
yeah, when I did the full geek out, I like looked at the fibers of this one and that one. It's like the same shit,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a different name.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Same engineered
But that
stuff.
whoopee, man, that's like the ultimate, like, take the baseball, couch, you know, watching a movie, you know, with the fire, or just like
Let's cozy up, baby.
cozy up with that
Cozy
thing.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. And what this material on these Wiggies and that other one, dude, it's just like, this thing's been through the ringer, dude.
Yeah.
There's not a tear in this thing.
Yeah. And if you
I mean,
do
I already
tear
got a
it-
couple patches on the Western Mountaineering.
Yeah, because that's thin skin on
Yeah.
that thing. Yeah.
You got a baby.
No,
it.
those will, you can throw some tenacious tape on it and it'll just be there for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're tried and true, man. Can't beat it. All these products that we talked about all have really great features and great uses, applications, as we said. I think if you're going to mess around out here, you need 2 bags. You need a warm bag, you need a medium, like, cooler bag.
Yep.
If we could like direct you in the right direction, if you're gonna, I'm planning to move to Alaska. I'm living up here already. I want to go camping. Like, could you get a one and done bag? Yeah, you could probably find like the right 15-degree something or other that's just like right in between. But if you want to play around on all 4 seasons, you definitely should get a bag that is suitable when it gets really, really cold.
Yeah.
And then
that depends on, that's a good complaint, how you sleep. You know, like I sleep hot and Jack sleeps hot.
Yeah.
And then how you sleep as far as like your movements and how you lay, you know.
Yeah. That's why I was a big fan growing up, you know, sleeping in the mummy bag, but having a blanket, you know, wool blanket over me if I was cold. Because then you kind of, you have a little bit more options, like depending on what the night brings you.
And I mean, they're coming up with new technology all the time. Like now it's the waterproof down and there's so many cool bags and things out there. Like just do your research. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what we use. We know that this stuff works. But by all means, do your own research for sure.
And next level, like if you're like cot camping, like say moose camp or something, you got the nice big tents and you're on the go cots or whatever. And then you got, like for me, I throw like a wool blanket around and I throw my thermarest and then I got my bag, and we'll go into another gear overview on pads and cots and we'll get into that later. But, I mean, you're talking a bag that's already like super warm when it's on the ground, and then now you elevate it, and then you start putting air pads and then wool blankets in between. I mean, it drops to 15 degrees, and you got no problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're extra.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like just kind of my final comment on like the whole sleeping bag life would be find what's comfortable for you. Really find ultimate comfort, because if you're not comfortable, you're probably not going to enjoy the experience as much. Because if you're not getting rest, if you're cold, if you're wet, if you're not cold or wet, but you're binding up in the bag and
Or
there's
the
just
stupid
these
zipper won't.
yeah, or like the zipper's getting
Or it's
unstuck and
sticky.
you're drinking a bunch of beer and you go to bed and you got to get up every hour and piss. Like, I mean, it's just like these little funny like factors that go into like camping
Yeah.
and shit that people experience. You know, it's like find something that's comfortable for you.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to buy a couple of them.
You do.
You know?
And you know, find the best well-rounded bag that suits you, but make sure it's comfortable and you know you're at least getting a few hours of sleep.
Yeah, and go talk to those guys at AM. That's a rare. I mean, do your internet homework, but go talk to those guys at AMH or at Barney's, especially those two places. Those guys can geek out for hours on what those bags. Like they know every detail. You know?
Yeah. Kevin's got bags down at Barney's. Like I said before, even hoarding Marmot.
Yeah, I was just in there. They got a bunch of bags.
If you're just trying to find stuff on a budget or find high-end product branded gear, and you're good with buying a used bag and taking it home and getting the good treated soap or detergent and going and washing it.
Yeah.
I mean, go look around. You don't got to go to Fred Meyer's or Target or, Sportsman's Warehouse and buy whatever. There's options for you.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Great job, guys.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
Well, thanks for listening, Alaska. And hit us up if you have any questions on the bags that we have or what you're thinking about and whatnot. And we appreciate you listening. Stay wild.
You'll remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.